Hey gang, just putting the chickens to bed. And then I'll be here. One of the chickens somehow completely got out last night. So this morning when I went to get them out, she was just standing there like, hey buddy, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know, buddy, what is going on? So anyways, good night chickens. We'll be here in just a sec. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hello. SND. Saturday Night Dodger. Bow, 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 bow. Ba-dun, da-dun, 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 da-dun. With your host, dun, da-dun, da-dun, dun, da-dun, da-dun. Dodger! Yay! I'm not like Brett. I don't have a cool button that like makes applause happen. But right now, I desperately wish I did have that. And what's this? Pepper! Welcome, everybody. This is what my office looks like when it's nighttime. I'm misleading you a little bit. This is what my office looks like when it's nighttime, and the lights have stopped working. I tried to turn them on. I figured in the end it contributed to the vibe, but something's gone a little hinky here. Something's a little wrong here, and it's that the lights will not turn on. But you know what will? Anything plugged into an outlet. So she's fine. She's fine. My kid helped me put the little mushroom shelves up. Did that today. So every day a little bit of ding dongs come in. Not that. That was a weird way to say that. Like a door, like, ta-da. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we got little mushroom shelves. My kid was like, what are you going to put on those? I was like, I don't know. Twinkets. I don't know. Something will surely go on there. I don't know what it is yet, but I don't need to. That's part of the journey, you know? Potions. Little potions for my little men. My little men that I keep in my jars beneath my pillow in case the Fae come by and need a trade. Huh? Anyway, how are you guys? Today's fit is Life is Better on the Farm. Gigantic mug that my mom and I found at the local pharmacy in my hometown. So. What a time I picked to show up. Right when I'm retelling about the little men that live under my pillow. Yes. Yes. Tell me that's decaf. It sure ain't. It sure isn't. But you know what? I already mentally buckled myself up for this. I'm not going to make this an age thing. I'm not going to say I've reached the age where. It's not an age thing. But I have personally reached the point in my life where I have made the decision for myself that I need to consciously decide if I'm going to have caffeine after, I don't know, 1 o'clock. From 1 p.m. on, I don't know, maybe don't. I find that sleeping, thinking, existing as a person is a little bit easier if I don't. And if I have coffee after that time, if I have a coca after that time, then there's no one to look at in the mirror but myself, you know? So. It's just me. I'm the only guy in charge. It's just me. I've acknowledged it's a stepped process, okay? If you drink a lot of caffeine, this is a stepped process that you might go through at some point, or again, not an age thing. You might live your whole life chugging coffee all day long. Far be it from me. But you might at some point go, God, why do I feel like this all the time? And you might say, maybe it's because I shouldn't be drinking coffee at a certain time of the day. Maybe I'll feel better if I don't do that. And then you'll try it out and be like, oh no, I do feel better if I don't do that. And then you go, well, either I can choose to pretend that my internal mechanisms are still a Hot Wheels car and I'm fine and it's still college and there's no difference. There's no difference between me as an early 20-year-old and a nearly 40-year-old. They're the same. Surely. Or you could sing In the Arms of the Angel to yourself in the mirror while making the choice to accept that maybe you'll feel a lot better if you don't drink coffee after 1 o'clock. I'm having a similar conversation with myself these days. I think sugar is starting to cause me headaches. I hate that for me. I also hate that for you. Dude, sugar, I know, we know that there are lots of different types of sugar, right? And sugar comes in many forms. It shows up in many different things in different ways. And that we need sugars, right? We need them. But definitely there are certain types of sugars that show up in certain types of foods where sometimes, another Arms of the Angel mirror, right? Sometimes you got to go, wow, I don't feel good. Wow, I don't feel good if I eat too much of this, Dukes had to wrangle the chickens. I did. I was saying I realized that the music was blasting, so maybe you couldn't hear me. But this morning I had the strange interaction with one of my chickens where I stepped outside at 5 a.m. because my kid doesn't know what a clock is. Stepped outside at 5 a.m. and was like, well, I'm awake. I might as well get the chickens up. Went outside and one of my chickens was just sitting outside of the coop. And if you spend a lot of time if you have chickens and you spend a lot of time handling them and things, they'll make it clear when they're like, no, if you let them out of the coop to like play around a little bit and you're like, come on, we got to get back in the coop. And they're like, no, I don't want to, or if they desperately want to get back in the coop. I walked up to her and she immediately did this, which is what they do when they're like prepping themselves to get picked up. She was like, get me out of here. And I felt so bad. I have no idea. I must have gone out to close up the coop when it was dark enough that I didn't realize one of them had somehow gotten out of there. And now I'm like, how did she get out of there? I think, because I currently have like an outdoor net set up so that they can be out in the sun and like have a nice time. And I think probably while that was still open, she had somehow jumped that fencing. And so by the time they had all filtered back into the coop and I had closed everything up, I was like, surely all 4 of them are in there. I don't see another chicken out in the like grazing area. But I think one of them had jumped the fence and it was not obvious to me because she wasn't doing anything. So what are you going to do? What you're going to do is you're going to open up the coop next time and say, y'all in here? Good. Are you all of you in bed? Fantastic. Yeah, that chicken is now like, what took you so long? For me, it was 5 a.m. For her, it was an eternity. Like, someone get out of bed and save me. Poor girl. What kind of predators do you have in the region? Foxes? Yeah. So our last chickens all got torn to shreds by foxes. And sorry, not to make it brutal, but they got eaten by a fox. And it sucked. It emotionally sucked, but it also, when I talked about this originally, I was like, I'm so grateful. I'm so glad that none of the little kids saw what I saw, right? Because I realized something was wrong when I was walking around with my kid and was like, you go to your dad. You go to your dad. I'm going to keep looking around. Yeah, thank God it was just me. Because, dude, foxes are so brutal. Oh, my God. But, yeah, it's basically just them. But they're, you know, they can get into things so easily. It's your face. I love your VTuber chibi, but sometimes I miss your face. Thanks. Yeah, I don't use it on the weekends because I have too many things where I have to use my face anyway. So I was like, I do Geekenders, I do this, you know, whatever, whenever this winds up happening, and then Sunforged, and all three of those are no cam. So. Predator's doing Predator stuff. Yeah. And like I said at the time, of course it's devastating. It's very sad, but I'm so grateful that they fed something. You know, there's some sort of comfort to be taken in that. Like, yeah, I'm frustrated with the fox, but like the fox just needed a meal. Like, at least they were eaten by something, you know? Like, there's a comfort in that. Why is the stream now? I must have missed something. Tomorrow, I wasn't able to do it tomorrow. I kept trying to juggle stuff this weekend. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, basically an opportunity for like a play date that my kid has wanted forever is happening tomorrow. Sam's got a lot of stuff going on. So I was like, it's fine. I'll move my Sunday stream to Saturday. And I didn't explicitly say this, but the implication was it'll happen at the same time that the stream normally happens, but on Saturday, right? And then we had an opportunity for a friend hangout with people we haven't seen in forever. And I was like, okay, either I can say, no, I have to work, or a stream that was already fucked can just happen at a different time. So I was like, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just move it to this evening because Sam's hanging out with Dave for his birthday anyway. So yeah, it got jostled around a bunch. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. So yeah, hi. I don't mind the jostling. I'm glad. Pretty much anytime an evening thing happens on the weekends, there's quite a few people who are like, I literally can never show up for streams, so this is great. So, you know, fantastic. It's the weekend. It's time to geek out. Come on, scream and shout. I don't even know what the lyrics are to our own theme song. You'll also be happy to know we should have a guest next week. We should. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give him a follow. #1 geek podcast without a doubt. Benji! Bango, thank you so much for the raid. Can we disable follower only? I don't know how to do that. I need to figure that out. Hi, Hi, everybody. You'll be able to talk in a sec. This isn't a little mushroom guy. That's so true. Did Benji say I was going to be a little mushroom guy? I'm so sorry. I was just explaining, actually, that, yeah, just disable it so that everybody can say hi and then re-enable it. Press the cog. Done. Followers only chat. Oh, off. It says. Or, oh, I see. It's followers only, but for 0 minutes. Oh, I see. To talk, you just have to click the follow button. I misunderstood what was going on. Anyways. Hi, guys. Welcome. But yeah, I'm a little mushroom guy during the week. And on the weekends, I always do like a 2-ish hour stream. That's just a chatty coffee slurping stream. And that's on camera. Follow Dodger. She's a new streamer. She'll get the hang of it. No, I think the miscommunication there for a second was that I didn't realize that followers only had been turned on, but with 0 minutes. So if you wanted to talk, you could just click follow and then immediately talk. All that I saw in chat was followers only has been enabled the second the raid happened. And I was like, wait, but now they won't be able to talk. So I know it's off of Marielle. I was trying to explain. I was trying to explain myself. Anyways. I call my miscommunications conversation mistakes. I like that. Is there any chance you and Octa will ever revisit Hustle Cat? Yeah. We've been trying to plan a trip for Octo to come and visit us for a while. And one of the things we would love to do while he's out here is together in the same room stream what's left of Hustle Cat. It would be hilarious because I really would need to remind myself what the heck was even going on in that game. I'd probably just replay the routes that we did initially. How much is left? Well, there's like a secret Graves ending, apparently. The guy that owns the cafe. There's a secret date Graves option. And then I think there were 2 people we hadn't dated yet. 2 of the like main cast. I think a quarter of my total life so far has passed since y'all played Hustle Cat. 1 sec. Oh my God. Hustle Cat. All right. So. Oh my God. Part 24. Is that the last part? I think so. It's called My Persona in all caps. 7 years ago. What? 7 years ago. 7 years ago is when we played that game. I want to dig a hole. Only 7 years? Only 7 years, yeah. Not that long, really. That feels so long ago to me. But then I remind myself that my kid is 6 now. So we actually stopped playing like probably around the time that, not that long before I got pregnant, most likely. Being a content creator must be one of the few jobs where people can come in and say, yo, can you finish that thing you did 7 years ago? It's a funny job. It is a funny job, yeah. When we were choosing where these should go, she thought of this, by the way, which I thought was very clever. She was like, this one doesn't really have like a shelf part. I was like, that's true. She was like, so maybe it should come out of the ceiling. I was like, that's fun. Hi, Kraken. How are you, dude? Oh my gosh, so many sweetie pies in chat. Bango is just in here. It's good to see you in chat. I was just explaining that my kid is 6 and how wild that is. But on with the content creation thing, when we were choosing where these should go, she was like, I have the best idea. These should be on the ground. I was like, why? She goes, because then it's like they're growing out of the ground. And I was like, 2 things. Number 1, I love that idea. Problem, though, is that then no one can see them on camera. And she was like, why do you care if it's on camera or not? It's like, well, I do. Because, you know, also, the whole idea is that these shits grow out of the sides of trees and whatever the fuck. So, you know, they can grow wherever. But she is a smart kid. Yeah. Mommy, stop caring so much. Just put it wherever the fuck you want it. And I said, okay, and then put them here. And she was like, no, not that. Not like that. Explaining streaming to a child. I mean, we don't have to explain it to her anymore. It's interesting because we've reached this point where my kid understands what we do, right? She gets the basic concept. She's watched a YouTube, right? She knows, she gets the idea. But she's still not quite old. This is why, and I'm not going to go into it. Generally people know my feelings on this, but like, this is why the conversation of kids, you know, being in content before they fully grasp what that means. She is not old enough, and it's really obvious when you talk to her. She's not old enough to understand the implications of what it means to be in a video, to be on a stream, right? Like what that is. Which is really interesting. It's very fascinating. And so since I'm like using the little mushroom guy, since I'm VTubing and stuff, you know, I've talked about having a little thing to click that makes a little mushroom grow off of me that would be like her if she's in the room talking to me, which I think would be cute because again, we don't want to have a situation where it's like you're not allowed to come in and say hi or whatever, and you know. But I think keeping this stuff separated is good for now, you know. Until she gets it, until she really knows what it would mean to be like, I want to be in a video, right? And that's, I think, a while off, honestly. Hi, Sin. How are you, dude? I know, so many friends. Well, I never stream it this time. I never stream now, so. Thanks, Kraken. Has she asked or showed interest in being in a video or on stream? Yeah. What I've said to her, she wants to make videos really badly. And so I have said to her, bro, I will help you film a thing. I will help you learn how to use editing software. You can make as many videos as you like. You cannot upload them anywhere. When you're older, if you go look back at these videos and you're like, this shit slaps so hard, go for it, upload it. But for now, if what you want to do is like be creative and make a video and learn how to edit, learn how to film, absolutely. Absolutely. That would be so fun. We'll absolutely help you do that. And she's made a couple of things and they're ridiculous. But, you know, no, it's not going anywhere. Not until you are, you know, a teenager and can look at what you've made and been like, yeah, totally. Yeah, this is it. This is what I want on the internet, you know? Oh my gosh, Zoe, thank you for the raid. Welcome, guys. Sam showed us one and it was a fucking banger. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the only reason that one was fine, right, is because she used entirely stock footage to make that one, and it was so funny. But some of them now have been like, hey, film me roller skating through the house, and then we're going to put in some, like, goofy sound effects and things. Love that. Cozy vibes. Thank you. I was explaining my lights won't turn on, but this light will turn on. So we're fine. But these lights won't turn on. So it's contributing to a nighttime vibe. But hello. Thank you for the raid on Tuesday. Oh my gosh, of course. I hope you had a good stream. Hello, everybody. It does fit the late night energy. Yeah. I feel like I need something else here and I need something here. You know? If you were to truly, because I've watched quite a few streamers who have really nailed the aesthetic lighting, and it's like have a couple points in the background, and then have some sort of like thing bouncing off of your face, right? Like they truly nail it. Not me, but that's okay. Yeah, or get some strip lighting and like do some of these back there, you know? Like those lamb eyes in the background are mocking me. This sweet. What's the problem? My kid is really into the Cult of the Lamb right now, has never seen the game, only conceptually knows what the game is about. And my sweet love got me a Cult of the Lamb stuffed toy when he was in Japan. And so that is technically mine, but is hers because she's obsessed with it and carries it everywhere. I bought the blanket. So this is the blanket that they had on pre-sale. And it's great. I love it. But she saw it today, so I like picked it up to show it to her, and she was like, "Is the lamb crying blood, mother?" I was like, "Yeah." I tried to explain to you that it is a creepy game, dude. Yeah. Yes, it is. No, it's ketchup. Oh my God. We watched Great Mouse Detective tonight. I was like, do you want to watch like an old Disney movie with me tonight? She said yes. So we were going through and I'm explaining what all of the movies are. And for those of you who don't know, we have two cats named Sherlock and Watson. And I was explaining Great Mouse Detective, and I was like, this is like a Sherlock and Watson story, but they're mice, and their names are different. And she was like, we have to watch that one. So we turned it on, and I realized there are so many points where my kid is the sort of kid where if something scary is going to happen, I feel like a lot of kids are this way. If something scary is going to happen, she wants a heads up. She wants to be given control over the choice to see the scary thing or not, right? There are a few different points in that movie where I was like, just so you know, a jump scare is about to happen. Do you want to watch it? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. There's a whole scene in that movie. For those of you who have never seen it, it's a doozy. It is a doozy of a movie. There's a whole scene where the Sherlock and Watson in question of this movie, Basil and Dr. Dawson, are hooked up to a mousetrap with a Rube Goldberg machine attached to it. Radigan is the Moriarty of this storyline, right? Riz King Radigan, and he sets up this really elaborate thing that will set off a Rube Goldberg machine that will then set off the mousetrap, right? Not only will it set off a mousetrap, there's an axe that will cut their heads off. There's an anvil that will crush them to death. There's a gun. Like he just decided to go all out, truly. And when that scene started, I was like, I remember being very scared during this scene. So I paused it. I was like, just so you know. Blah, right? I explained the mousetrap situation, and she was like, I want to watch it. I need you to tell me, though, is anyone going to die in this scene? I was like, no one's going to die to this mousetrap. Basil's going to figure out how to get out of the mousetrap, and it's going to be a cute end to the whole thing. And she was like, okay. The great rat Rizzler Radigan. Don't say that around him. He's not a rat. He's a mouse. I love that film so much. Me too. It's a great movie. Yeah. Very fun. I've explained before that at some point my TikTok FYP, I got one video that was like weird Great Mouse Detective fan art, and interacted with it and shared it with a couple of people because I was like, look at this, isn't this funny? And then somehow wound up being suggested like 4 different channels on TikTok that all do Great Mouse Detective fan art. And I was like, where am I? What happened? What the fuck? So the mouse hole. Exactly. I was in the mouse hole. Yeah. Currently, it's the Aqua Teen Hunger Force hole. This happens to me often. The algorithm will go, here's a person who makes interesting fan art for a thing that you used to watch when you were younger. Do you like this? And I stupidly every time go, I do. Bro, you still like this, right? I guess so. I guess so, dude. The Great Mouse Detective to Aqua Teen Hunger Force pipeline. I don't know. I thought I was out of the Great Mouse Detective hole a while ago, and then I got showed a new thing. And I immediately messaged Summer and was like, how do I'm back in the fucking building, right? Like, that's how it feels to me. Like, how did I get here again? How did I get here again? Why does it keep recommending me these videos? Keeps watching them. Yeah. Your big mistake is not only like liking them, but your biggest mistake is clicking the share button and being like, look at this fucking thing. Everything's fucked for a while after that. My algorithm has been slowly skewing Krendor because anytime I see a goofy thing that has no purpose whatsoever, I send it to Krendor. And now it's that. So I think what I actually need to be sending to Krendor is Dodger Core stuff. Krendor's already, any weird thing I find, Krendor's already seen it. Why am I spinning my wheels? Why am I bothering? I gotta send him Dodger stuff, you know? We all end up like, what is the pipeline to Krendor for all of us? It's like carcinization. Yeah. Oh my God. YouTube's so bad for that too. I generally try to avoid YouTube drama. I just don't want to get sucked into that shit, right? But when frenemies fell apart, I watched like 2 videos. One that was like, here's what's going on with frenemies, and one that was like, here's the entire discography of Trisha Paytas, right? I don't know how long it took for YouTube to stop being like, do you want to know what H3H3 said live that Trisha Paytas then responded to, that then got responded to by so? It's like, oh my God. Felt like months afterwards were like, here's what Trisha Paytas did now. I was like, stop! Get me out of here! Shit. I watch so much YouTube in incognito to preserve the algorithm. Oh my God. I don't bother. Right now, hold on. I don't use YouTube for much, to be honest. I don't use YouTube for much. It's a lot of my YouTube specifically is a lot of book talk shit. Video on the crochet drama on TikTok. Great. Long video essays about different shows that got canceled and whether or not they should have been canceled. Just like that kind of shit. That's the sort of shit that I wind up watching on YouTube now. It's like, yeah, tell me about some niche drama. Frenemies wasn't niche. Frenemies was a situation where 8,000 people made a video, and because I watched 2, I was stuck there for an eternity. But yeah, a video on why people that crochet are mad at each other, I don't think that's going to go too far. If anything, it's going to link me to other weird crafting videos, which I am so okay with. And then, yeah, of course I'll watch a Big Joel video where he, watches all of the Disney sequels and then rates them from the perspective of a 20-something-year-old man. Absolutely. Yes, I will. 100% I will watch that. I just discovered Big Joel recently. Big Joel makes some really good videos. I was never tempted to join Nebula. I've never been tempted to join Nebula. There's some great creators on there, but I never really cared to get on Nebula. But I enjoy Big Joel's videos enough that at one point I was like, I'm gonna see what Big Joel's got on there. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like an adjacent paid service So if you're somebody who makes like these really like high quality long form content videos, that's mostly what it is people that make videos like that doing extra videos on Nebula. And so you can like sign up to Nebula and then you have access to all of those videos, these extra videos from these creators. So yeah. Oh, I've never run into that problem. I watch a lot of stuff that's about like I watch a lot of I guess I'll just say as a blanket, like a lot of LGBTQ like perspective stuff on you know, world issues, on movies and TV shows and stuff like that. I never wind up getting stuff that's like, and here's why TERFs are right? I never get any of that. I'm very grateful. Somebody in chat was saying I can't watch anything from like that's like from a trans creator without then getting a recommendation that's from like somebody on the other side, right? I don't run into that problem. Fortunately, I've probably cursed myself now. I run into that with the shorts. I've been getting a ton of the AI shorts. I think because the YouTube algorithm thinks it sees me watch a video that's like, here's iCarly and how it relates to Nietzsche, right? I'll watch that. I'll watch an iCarly Nietzsche video, sure. That doesn't exist yet, but somebody will make it one day. And then and then it'll start trying to show me, shorts that are like an AI voice going, did you know on the most recent season of iCarly? And I go, no! Can someone make that quickly, please? This is what's going to reinvigorate my YouTube. This is going to be my comeback, dude. I never watched iCarly, but I bet I could figure it out. Oh, I'm sorry. Nietzsche. I'm very sorry. Craig needs to introduce Doogs to the AI he used during XCOM with Sam last night. Oh, no. Was it like a chat-controlled AI thing? I know you've talked about using stuff like that before. That's very good. Just being upfront about it, like, hello, in this video I'm going to talk about my experience of watching the entirety of iCarly and hoping at some point I can connect it to Nietzsche. It's just really short. I didn't. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. It's just a bunch of like silent shots of me on the couch watching iCarly with no commentary. It can double as an ASMR video. No, when I was talking about the, ma'am? When I was talking about the little mushroom growing out of me to be Clark, Sam was like, "Yeah, and then you need a text to speak one." How do you not? Is there a way for mods to like vet comments before they go into the text to speak machine? Because I don't know how people aren't saying more outlandish shit with text to speak. Mushroom body horror VTuber. Yeah. Yes. And much like when I was in Neon Divide, it's been a question of how much body horror can I get away with without being legitimately unsettling? What all can I do and have it still be a fun, goofy time? At what point is it not a fun, goofy time anymore? The googly eyes. They peek in the door for the thalassophobics. I try not to have too many of them. I try not to make that too bad for people, so hopefully it hasn't been. I don't know how people would feel about little mushrooms with mouths showing up on my body. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm going to try it. As long as your eye sockets aren't teeth. They won't be. I'm not going to do any "you're not my neighbor" sort of shit. Some of the things that happen to characters in That's Not My Neighbor. Nope. Deacon, no! I forgot to turn those off. It's fine. I'll just give all the points back at the end. It took me until now to realize you're talking about VTuber stuff, not having mushrooms pop out of your human body. Yeah, I don't know how I would do that with my human body. I would have to get really creative. It would have to be one of those like, oh my gosh, what's this? Oh shit, it's text to speak Terry, the mushroom. Yes. I love text to speak Terry. Most people do. Yeah. Have you ever done a media share stream? No, never. Like the sort of thing that people do. Which version of media stream do you mean? Like when chat suggests videos and the videos just play, or streams that people do where they're like, I'm going to show you a bunch of TikToks I saw. The AI last night would make a synthesis of what chat would be saying and then say it like a report from XCOM. That's very funny. We had to get like all of its info from chat. I love that. It went wrong very quick. I still love it. This is going to sound ridiculous, but sometimes I forget that my kid is big enough now that if they've done what I used to do and kicked all the blankets off, in the event of waking up and being like, where the fuck is the blanket? Big enough to just pull it back on. So there's still a part of me that like stresses about it, like I did when she was 2 years old. That when the blanket's been kicked off, I'm like, oh my God, if she wakes up, she's gonna cry and be like, somebody help me get the blanket back on me, right? But it doesn't happen anymore. I'm sweaty about it for no reason. My kid is 6. When I talk about other kids being around, there are 8 kids total on Sam's side of the family. About to be 8. So she's got 7 cousins. Yeah. So, and they come over all the time. So like, most days there's another child here other than my child. People ask this all the time. Does my child speak with an English accent? Her accent is a mix, which I think will shift over time, right? The only American that she's consistently talking with every day is me. She goes to school with English kids. Her dad is English. Her grandparents are English, right? Like, slowly over time, the Americanisms are going to go away, and I'm fine with that. But it's also really sweet because sometimes people will correct how she says things, and she's immediately just like, no, I'm American, so. And it's like one of the few cases of looking somebody in the eye and being like, I'm American, so I don't care, where I fully support it. I'm like, yeah, don't let this person be like, you're saying that wrong. Like, yeah, it'll be cute things like when she got glasses initially, the very first day that she wore them to school, she came into the car and was like, Mommy, a lot of my friends say glasses, but I say glasses. And I was like, yeah, because I say glasses. You know, you got a lot of your like vowel, you're like, e. You got a lot of those sounds from me, so you replicate them a lot. But like, you can say it however you want, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And she was like, I want to say glasses. I was like, okay, then say glasses. That's fine. Oh my God. Yeah. An adult, and we all were like, but an adult a few days ago was like, hey, Clarky, how's, school been? Do you have like a little boyfriend or anything? And she immediately just got up and punched him in the arm. I was like, that's right. Inappropriate answers get a response. 100%. It was very good. He was trying to rile up Sam. Sam was like, what the fuck did you ask that for? Like, literally all of us were like, huh? But I love Clark immediately was like, no. It was very cute. I was very proud. There it is. Yeah, not just a no. Hey, I'm going to make sure you remember not to ask this again. No. I am. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of how confident she is. I've talked kind of vaguely about it, but we've had a few different issues at school with other kids, stuff that needed to be really involved to like handle, and it's been very frustrating, and a lot of it has been dealt with now, which is great. But yeah, the way that my kid has like stood up for herself and handled these situations when we're not around to like be there, very proud, extremely proud. Was Jessie right? Is she a mean girl? She's very sweet. I think. I'm biased. My kid is very sweet. She'll punch you if you ask something inappropriate, though, which deserved. Good for her, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? It's all on the same. Like, we laugh about it, but like, when Sam's in the middle of telling me a story and he's like in the thick of it and he says something along the lines of, and then this fucking guy, our kid immediately is like, don't say fucking. Which is the funniest shit in the world, and I love it every time. But it's like, it's all sort of like on the same tree, right? Of just like, she's very willing to be like, no. We used to get freebies if our parents swore. I love that. I was watching a video where somebody was saying that like one of the best things that they ever did with their middle school age son is be like, look, dude, you need to be taking a shower every day. Here's the thing. While you're in the shower, you can say whatever you want. You can add whatever curses you got brewing up in there, you can say literally whatever you want. Free pass as long as you're in the shower. And he was like, awesome. And she said he takes a shower every night now. It's just, you work with what's going on. Hydrotherapy. Yeah. You come out, you feel like emotionally de-stressed, you're clean, you're thriving, like, damn, this is a good part of my nighttime ritual. Some people sing in the shower, but this guy swears his ass off. I like imagining this person as an adult. Like as they get older, like, is this going to be like part of the ritual? Like anytime they take a shower, their partner down the line is like, I really want us to shower together. I think that would be like a really nice, intimate experience. And they're like, no, absolutely not. You don't need to be in there with me. Showering at the gym, there's a guy going off in the corner stall. I love it. That's some goofy shit. I love that. Yeah, you don't want this. You'll never look at me the same, please. This is now turning into, chat's now skewed this into like a Pavlov reaction. Like the second this guy gets wet, he's like, fuck, shit. just cursing immediately the second water hits this guy. It's raining. He feels a single drop on his head and it slides down. He goes, no. He's running. He always has an umbrella. He's a gremlin. Don't get him wet. Yeah. We developed entire zombie lore today, which was very fun. As if you have a kid that likes to play pretend a lot, and sometimes you're like, I want to like engage with the pretend here, but I'm also just so tired and I don't have the bandwidth to actively pretend, like to act right now, you know? Something that I'll do, if this is helpful for you, something that I'll do is, because typically kids will set the scene, won't they? They'll be like, this is who you are. This is who I am. We're here. I'll start asking a bunch of questions. I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Wait, why are you a zombie and I'm not? She's like, well, I got bit by the zombie people, but we're in the human town. I'm like, oh, so we're like mid attack right now? And she's like, well, no, because I'm going to bite you at the start and then we'll both be zombies and it's fine. I was like, okay, interesting. So what does that look like? Like, what is the zombie process like? She's like, well, it's different if you're an adult. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, but I'm a kid. So I have green freckles all over my body and my lips are bright green. But whatever your skin tone is, it stays the same until you grow up. And I was like, as a zombie, until you grow up and turn into an adult zombie. And she was like, yes, exactly. It was great. She came up with figured out what the town is. The town was called Human Town. We're getting there. The town was called Human Town. Sometimes we're very creative with names, and other times it's, Mommy, shut up. I'm just trying to play pretend right now. Okay, stop asking me all these fucking questions, right? But sometimes the questions lead to fun places. That was also, one of my primary thoughts was, okay, so zombies grow up in this world. I was like, she turned me into a zombie and then went to bite me again. I was like, why are you biting me? We're both zombies. And she was like, you still have a brain. So surely the zombies still bite each other until the brains are all gone. And I was like, do they? So, why is this confusing? I know. Why is this confusing? Wait, she's on to something. Oh, that's okay. Bye, Telly. Yeah, we'll raid Jesse when we're done. Since he's doing a birthday stream too. Moldy brain is still a brain. So true. You're right on Fallout. Oh my gosh. I saw the French trailer for the Dead Cells show. I'm very curious about that. The vibe is so different than what I expected. I like the art style. I'm really curious. I'm very curious to see what it's going to be like. Yeah, it's being done by a French team. It's releasing in France first. And then we'll release here. We'll release everywhere else, I guess, after that. I assume part of the reason that it's happening in one place and then the other is that it needs to be translated and stuff. I assume. But the trailer's in French. It's initially going to be released in French. So, the last French show that I watched, I think, was Last Man. Did they ever fund season 2 of that? Oh, they did. Oh my God, it was released and everything. Wait, what the hell? What? The very first thing that popped up is a Reddit post called, I just finished watching season 2. I have questions. Interesting. I had no idea season 2 was out. It's called Last Man. It is an adult show. Just FYI. But if you ever read the comics, it's based on a French comic done by a French animation team. It was great. I haven't watched it in years, but I remember that they were crowdfunding for a season 2. There is a show, yeah. Ba, 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 ba. How's the rebirth journey going? For Final Fantasy, I still haven't started playing Rebirth. I haven't started it. I was gonna get a thing to hold our game consoles to go like under where our TV is, was the plan. And then the system that Rebirth is on would get brought into the house for a while I'm playing it. It's really difficult for me to pull the trigger on buying furniture. I don't know why. it's very hard for me to be like, yeah, this is definitely what I want in this room. And it's not a new thing versus old thing. I go looking and trolling around for used stuff all the time, or like old looking stuff, because that's more my vibe for sure. But regardless, there's like a barrier in my brain, and I don't know if it's sort of part of we've talked before about like the whole thing that you can do with like imagining an apple and finding out like how well you picture things in your mind. Badly is my answer. Really badly, really badly. I can't really clearly imagine anything. And I think because of that, when I see something and I try to be like, would this work in that room? Should I, like, would this all come together, right? I don't know. And probably the answer to that is take a picture of the room
and then take a picture of the thing and just sort of like put it in there, right? Like use a program, put it in there to sort of visualize it. But like, God, that's so much extra work than just having your brain figured out for you. Aphantasia, that's what it's called, yeah. Which is apparently like a gradient. Some people literally can't imagine anything. So I'm not quite that, but like the original thing is like imagine an apple, I think is like the really basic version of this like test for yourself. Imagine an apple. When you imagine an apple, do you see in your mind like a realistic, beautiful, crisp apple? Are there details, right? Can you literally not imagine any aspect of an apple? For me, it's like it's like you've taken a picture of an apple and then put a bunch of noise filters all over it. You know, the second I feel like I might be able to grab onto an image, it's already gone. Nothing can ever be pictured clearly, ever. A story that I've told before is when I just like offhandedly was talking to my mom on the phone while she was at work. And I was like, sometimes when you're at work, I don't remember what you look like. And looking back on that, that must have been such a depressing thing to hear your child say when you're at work all the time, especially, right? But to me, it was just like, I forget what people look like. I forget, or like, I can't picture them, right? And that's weird. But as a kid, I didn't think that was weird. It was just reality. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're talking about how like there's like a gradient of how clearly you can imagine things. I like to think of myself as a very creative person, but I'm a like tactile person. You know, when I'm doing a thing, I can say, this color would look nice with what's already here, right? That sort of stuff. Or like, I have, you know, like a vague idea of what I would like to recreate, but I need to grab a bunch of pictures to like look at them, and then I need to be physically recreating it to be totally sure, like, yes, this is gonna work, you know? That's a huge coffee mug. It is. I referred to this as the fit check for today. It's a very cute mug. We actually bought 2 of these. The second one is back in America. Oh my God. And when I go back over there, I will be grabbing it and bringing it to England with me and giving it to my mother-in-law. The farm's great. My current project is trying not to jump the gun on planting a bunch of vines. I have always wanted vines crawling up the side of my house. I love the vibe of that so much. And so my mother-in-law has taken a lot of classes and spent a lot of time with plants, learning about plants, etc. So I went to her and I was like, I really want a vine wall on the front of the house, but I don't know what types grow out here, and I don't know what types are going to be damaging to the wall versus not. And she had a bunch of suggestions, which was great. And she was like, but honey, the windows of your house are really old. And if you plan on replacing the windows, you should do that before you grow the vines. And my immediate mental thought was, no. I want the vines. I don't want to replace the windows. I want the vines. I want vines to start growing. That shit's going to take forever. I want them to start growing now. And I know she's right. I'm just annoyed about it. So, windows are so expensive. And I know that we would deal with much less like heat leakage if we had better windows. I know that all of the like bedrooms and stuff wouldn't feel freezing even though the heat is on if we had better windows, you know. But it's so expensive to replace windows. Holy shit. I know. Yeah, that's what she was saying. Is she was like, if you're gonna take the time to let these vines grow and look beautiful, and then you go to swap out the windows, the vines are gonna get damaged. You're gonna wind up damaging all this hard work that you've done, right? So replace the windows, and that way you can just leave them alone, just let them grow. You know what would conserve heat? Wrapping your house in vines. That's also true. It's a legitimate thing. Is people will put vines all over their house to help keep heat in. Sounds like she just wants the windows done. She's got no horse in that race, dude. She doesn't live in our house. Check if it's not the insulation around the window and not the window itself that's bad. They're like old single pane windows. I'm not saying that you might not be right, but they're probably windows that we're going to want to replace down the line anyway. The house is cold. I know the cure, a wood stove. You know, you'd think that. All winter, especially while our boiler was busted, we basically had a fire going constantly. And yeah, the house that I grew up in had a wood stove, and it made the whole house warm, like schwitzy warm, right? We had a fire going so often, and you had to be in the room the fire was in. Otherwise, it felt like there was no fire at all. And I was like, this isn't right. This isn't right, dude. Something's wrong here. Anyways. Yeah. Heat convection means the adjacent rooms get colder. Something's in my tooth. We had popcorn while we Great Mouse Detective did. I'm just saying if there's nothing between the window frame and the walls, you more or less have a 1 to 2 centimeter gap all around your windows. Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely something to look into. A quicker fix in the meantime, at least, right? Than getting a whole new window. I'm so happy with how these healed. I didn't get these pierced that long ago. And they're like totally fine. It's crazy. I've had so many issues with piercings in my life. And truly, I'm a believer now that it is the difference between the gun and not the gun. When I've gotten holes done with a piercing gun, infected, always. Infected for so long, so infected, awful. Without the piercing gun, going to somebody who's like, I'm a piercer, this is my whole shit, heals just fine. And that might sound obvious, but like, whoa, 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 whoa. You told me not to cry when you were gone. Tell her to DM me when she's not on a rant. I just responded to you. No. Actually, no. No, thank you. Now, I'm having a kebab. He asked me if I wanted chili sauce. And normally I say, yeah, can I have it on the side? But I never use it. So I was typing out, yeah, I'll have it on the side, and then deleted it and said, actually, no, I don't want chili sauce. Ba, 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 ba. Dude, that song. So I've got a singing exam soon. And by soon, I mean, you can submit whenever you want, but like, I've generally got these songs down, that I'm doing for my level 8 exam. But, the Sam Smith song, Lay Me Down, there's a part in that song. Most of the time, my teacher says to me, you're belting, you don't need to belt. Pull back a little bit, right? There's a part in this song at the very end where she's like, belt, go ham, fucking launch, dude. You gotta go hard at this part. And I'm now at the point where I think about that constantly because I'm overthinking it now. Blast it. Yeah, just go. Yeah. It's a good song, though. It's a beautiful song. The hardest part of that song was learning the, like... What's weird about exams is they'll take a song where somebody has, you know, done their, like, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know, sort of shit, and they will literally write out every single note that person hits while improvising during singing, right? And then you have to recreate that exactly in order to get good marks. So there's this whole like back and forth of, okay, learn technically exactly what this song is, and then learn how to make it sound like it's more improvisational than it actually is, which is not at all. It's not improvisational in the slightest, right? You are literally reading music and replicating it exactly, but you need it to sound like it's coming from someplace for you, right? So the hardest part with this song is that Sam loves to go all over the place, and it's lovely and it's beautiful, but it took a while for me to memorize that. I had to do that in school with jazz solos on a completely different instrument. Yeah, that's I enjoy the process of taking a piece of music and like dissecting it. I actually think that's really fun. I never would have known that I thought that was fun if I hadn't taken singing lessons, right? Wouldn't have known that I was that sort of a person. But yeah, it comes with it comes with the hurdles of like, okay, I am going to do Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And not the normal version, the weirder version. And that means a lot of coming in on the second beat for some reason. Right? Like, is this your first time with singing lessons? I started, oh my gosh, how long ago did I start? I started singing lessons beginning of last year, beginning of 2023. It was me going, man, I want to choose a thing that I've always wanted to do, and try to just like pursue it just for fun. And so I reached out to a singing teacher, and I love her so much. I really like struck gold first shot. She's amazing, and I think she really quickly recognized in me that I was interested in learning how music works, right? Because as a teacher that teaches something like singing, I think you're trying to figure out like, okay, why is this person here, right? Because she was saying she's got, students that she teaches where it's obviously, they want to do exams to help with, whatever schooling they're pursuing next or whatever. But when adults come or like more elderly people come, like what did they want? What are they hoping to achieve in class? How can you help them reach their goals, right? What are their goals? Do they know what their goals are? And it was really funny because it turned out that my teacher had listened to my brother's music a lot and really loved my brother's music. My brother's a musician, by the way. And so it was a really easy way to sort of lead into me explaining, I don't think that I have a bad voice, but I didn't really pursue music because it felt like my brother was the musical one. And I didn't see the point. And now that, I'm in my mid to late 30s, I've reached the point now where it's like, I don't need to achieve anything with singing, but I can now acknowledge like, I love to sing. It's so fun. And I never pursued learning how to sing with purpose or how to like treat my voice as an instrument. I never learned how to do any of those things. And I would love to try and learn those things now. And so it didn't really take that long for her to realize like, I think you'd really enjoy taking exams. They don't mean anything for you, really. You get a little paper that's like, ta-da, you did an exam, good job, I'm not going to be pursuing higher education in singing, but it's just fun to do an exam. The exams are fun because they force me to learn how to read music a little bit. There's like this element of it that's almost like immersion language based where like I'm looking at the same sheet music over and over and over again for weeks at a time. And I will eventually absorb what these notes mean, and what, what this music is trying to say written out. And so that's been really fun, just like slowly being like, oh, I can tell what this is trying to tell me to do. I love that. That's really fun. Again, I really like just dissecting the music and figuring out what notes, like replicating the notes perfectly and stuff. Like, that's fun. That shit's really fun for me. So. Yeah, exactly. And I said to another person my age, like, oh yeah, well, I'm taking singing lessons. And they had sort of a compulsive reaction where the subtext, and I didn't take it personally, but the subtext was very like, what are you doing that for? They're like, oh, you're taking singing lessons. So they thought I was talking about my kid. And I was like, yeah, it's for me. And yeah, it really is just like, it's something I wanted to do when I was younger, and I just didn't because of X, Y, and Z reasons, just like big imposter syndrome vibes and insecurities about myself growing up with a bunch of very musically talented people. There's a reason that when people compliment my voice, I go, it's taken a lot of time for me to be able to just say, thank you so much. Because sometimes that happens if you grow up around somebody who's very, I don't want to say gifted, but someone who is really inclined towards something and excels at it. It feels kind of like, well, I'll never be that, so how good could I possibly be? And it's okay to just pursue a thing because you think it's fun. If you're able, if you have the resources available to you. Anyway, I love my brother. I don't want it to sound like I have any like weird, unsettled issues with my brother. I don't at all. He has never, ever done anything to contribute toward this feeling whatsoever. If anything, when I would like start doing music stuff, he was so supportive. Like, oh my gosh, you should, but it didn't fix it. It didn't like mentally help. The only way that it is helping, in terms of our relationship, is that he never did try to make me feel that way or contributed towards that feeling. He was always incredibly supportive of me getting into music and like finding my own voice with music, you guys should check out Jared Lawson. He's great. He's my brother. I'm biased. He's fantastic, and very talented. Nicodemus. Yeah, that's interesting. I can see that. Like having a reaction of like, what's your angle here? Kind of a thing. Yeah, that does suck. Get your certificate and rub it in his face. Yeah, that seems like the normal reaction. My wife is over here rolling her eyes. Oh. It's the hope is to always have somebody in your corner that's able to tell you when you are adding to something someone has said, right? It's sort of along the lines of when oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh, I was talking about how something that I've been trying to do, if I'm interacting with somebody where I have a really hard time reading them, a way to keep me from assuming the worst about my interactions with them is to remind myself, like, what has actually happened in our interactions, you know? Sometimes the vibes are just off, not in a bad way, not in a sinister way. Sometimes just the way that you interact with another person, the vibes are just weird, you know? And you might be like, they hate me. But based on just your interactions, that's not what it is, right? Or you have no reason to actually believe that. You're planting an extra thing in there. And I think it's good to trust your instincts, but it's also good if you tend to be the sort of person that's like, oh my God, they're mad at me. Oh my God, they hate me, right? I think it's really good to have some sort of a strategy to be like, what am I supplying to this from my brain? What have the actual interactions been, you know? No, everyone is sus. You know what? Actually, that's it. That's the one. I'm wrong. Assuming something about someone is wild because it's projecting onto others. Sure, typically it's a protection thing, right? It's you trying to make sure that you don't because a lot of times it's subconscious. You're just automatically doing it. It's you trying to make sure that you're not caught off guard or that you're protecting yourself, keeping yourself safe, right? But yeah, it's deeply unfair to the other person to assume things based on what you are supplying with no evidence, you know. I just make conversation mistakes right away, so I don't need to worry. You're like, all right, what's the most socially acceptable but still like kind of outlandish thing that I can say right now just to get it out of the way? I like that. Then it's like you're in control. Like, of course you think I'm weird. I said a weird thing on purpose. Checkmate. Lana, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, guys. We're just hanging. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. So I hope you guys had a good stream. I've just got a coffee, doing a late night thing. Welcome, guys. Yeah, we were talking about social interactions, and sometimes we will project things onto a person without any evidence of it, right? And normally it's a subconscious, like, I'm just trying to protect myself sort of thing. Like, the vibes are weird with this person and I don't know why. And somebody was like, I just purposefully do something weird right from the get-go so that, like, yeah, of course they think I'm weird. I did a weird thing on purpose. And I love that. Yeah. Yeah. To the person who is like, I just strike up conversations with whoever and like see how it goes. That's so powerful. My brother-in-law is like that. Not Sam, not either of Sam's brothers, but like my sister-in-law's husband. He's the sort of person that gets along with everybody. I would say generally I get along with nearly everybody as well, but like he is outgoing, this dude, right? He's the he's the person that will start the interaction every time, right? And I was at a birthday once and I was just kind of chilling. I was like talking with the olds, you know. And he came over and he was like, "What are you doing? Why are you just like sitting over here?" And I was like, I don't know. I'm at a birthday where I don't know anybody, but I do know the old people. So, so I'm hanging out with them. I'm hanging out with them and hearing them complain about a bunch of weird shit and just going, and he was like, "Come on, we're going to just like pretend we know somebody." I was like, "What do you mean?" And he meant that literally. We walked up to a group of people and he was like, "Hey, where do I know you from? I think, didn't we meet through so-and-so?" And this person was like, "I don't know, did we?" And he was like, "I'm positive we did. Anyway, how's your night going?" And I was like, I cannot believe that worked. What the fuck? Yeah, it was literally just to like have a way to be like, anyways, I'm now injecting myself into whatever's going on over here. It is a superpower. You can tell I think it's a learned thing over time, right? Like he just does it so effortlessly. And I was just there. I was next to him and he was like, "And this is my sister-in-law." And I was like, "Hi." My in a lot of times out here is the second I start talking, somebody's like, "Are you from America?" Easy. Great. Does he have a job where he talks to a lot of people? Yeah. I was, we have a friend who has a job where she like has to be the bad guy a lot. But she's like maybe one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. And she was like, "Yeah, you know, it's a hard job, but it's my job. And I just have to, you know, do my job and tell people when things aren't going to work. And then, you know, they're mad at me, but I have to just like be okay with it." And I was like, honestly, I feel like you're the perfect person for that job because like how mad could somebody be at you? Like, you're so sweet. I don't know. I'm not in a business setting with you, but I think sometimes people are kind of like the perfect person to be the like bad news guy, you know? She like the "this is fine" meme. She said she has to go. She does a lot of work from home, so she'll like be on a call and have to give bad news. And and get a bunch of pushback about the bad news. And she was like, and then sometimes I have to just mute myself for a second and literally say out loud, this is just your job. It's fine. It's okay if people are mad. It's just your job. I was like, oh my God. Mute is how I don't get fired. You don't want a bad news person who gives off vibes like they're enjoying it. Yeah, or they're apathetic, right? You want like a little bit of empathy there of like, I understand that this sucks. It's like with little kids, not to infantilize people in business situations, but like that's one of the like things that you get told a lot about little kids is like one of the best things that you can do is be like, yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? Like, I can't change the outcome here. The outcome is still the same or the consequence is still the same, but like, I get it. That's so fucking frustrating. That sucks. Like, absolutely. I'm going to start the shower cursing stress relief thing. An ad is about to start. No! You can't eat out of the bin. It's awful, I know, but you still can't. Yeah. Also, with little kids, sometimes little kids impulsively do a thing and then it has an immediate consequence, right? And it's sometimes depends on what the situation was leading up to it, but sometimes it's really hard to be like, I'm not gonna, I told you so. That's not helpful right now, right? The consequence already happened. The thing broke or the thing didn't work or whatever, right? The consequence happened. I don't need to dogpile onto that. I can just be the guy that's like, yeah, that really sucks. That really sucks that happened. I can try to help you problem solve after this, but like, you know? I've never been a stand in the shower for a long time guy. I'm in and out. I go in, I scrub a dub, and then I leave. I think Sam, if given enough time, could solve world hunger in the shower. Like, he is in there for so long. If nobody's like, hey, dude, what are you doing? I have to just boil myself. Yeah. Yeah. I am so empathetic now toward really tall or, just bigger people in whatever direction that love baths. It's so hard to find a bath to fit into and be comfortable in. We have never lived in a place where Sam could take a bath and actually relax. He always is in a lot of pain afterwards because he has to like contort himself in a weird way. And so one of the things that he daydreams about all the time is like one day, once, we've done the things that are super necessary, like replacing our boiler, one day we're going to get a soaker tub of some kind that is big enough that he can just enjoy himself and have a bath. That's his dream. And then, then it's like, you fill the bath, stay in there as long as you want. When you take a really long shower, it's like, oh, God. The water. Dion Dauntless, thank you so much for all the gifted subs. Thank you very, very much for the bath fund. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you were gifted a sub, let's see. Who do we got here? Inso, oh my gosh, I'm so bad with Roman numerals. Inso 18, I think. Rastaman Stan, 1379. Hohonator, Dude Man, Steswi, Tide Ultra Clean, Full Heart, Art, Moist Heinous, and Eternim. All of you were gifted a sub just now in case you missed it. Please take the time to say thank you. No, an ad! An ad now? Do you guys want to see my BRB screen? Some goofy shit. That's my mushy. That's it. That's the guy right there. That's what I look like during the week, typically. What is that taped to the pillow? So this is an old asset, but I don't have Photoshop anymore, and it's a Photoshop document. This is an old asset from MangaPod, where if we had a guest, we had a Dakimakura with a transparent picture like option, so we could take the person's icon or image and put it on the Daki and have it like on the screen with us. It was very cute. It was a activated PNG, so when they talked, the Daki moved. Yeah, I don't have Photoshop anymore, so I don't know how to get it to work, because I would love to still like put shit on that pillow. Yeah, you know what? I thought about doing some sort of a thing, because I think it was nice doing like sign language to thank people for subscribing and stuff. So I thought about going to one of our friends that does like animated stuff and having an animated version of my character signing it, and have that be the like subscription thank you alert. You're back. Hello. They're gonna say overlay them like gamer grippers. That would be cute. No. Sign language is different most places. Much like spoken language, it is developed in the place that it's in. It might take inspiration from other places, just like how, English is based on a lot of other languages. But no, so like the sign language that I do when people sub, which I'm kind of out of the habit of doing now because I'm not on camera as much, but it's British Sign Language, which is different from American Sign Language, which is different from Irish Sign Language, right? French, like every place pretty much has its own sign language. And not only that, but in the same way that spoken language has slang, there will be different slang, so to speak. So different areas of England, even though they all, speak BSL, will have different signs for certain things because that is the slang of that area. I live in England, so it didn't make sense for me to start learning American Sign Language. So I started learning some British Sign Language. So like, if you've subbed, it would be, thank you, welcome to the cat gang. So that's what I used to do when people would sub. Welcome to the cat gang. It's very cute. I'm not fluent at all. No. not at all. But it's fun to learn. And earlier we had Telly in here. Telly is a viewer and a friend who knows a lot of British Sign Language, and said that one of the things for her that helped a lot was just joining like in-person meetups that were specifically for the purpose of like people interacting with each other in BSL. And she said that made a huge difference for her in the same way that with learning a spoken language, you like do things to try to immerse yourself to learn quicker or to learn how people actually speak the language like in person. Is there Cockney Sign Language? No idea. I was watching a video where somebody was like, I'm doing this course that's a month long, that's like a full immersion language course that is like constant language lessons, full immersion for a whole month. And then after that month is done, you're fluent, basically, is like the idea. And I was like, that is fascinating. And I went to look at the comments on the video, and it was people being like, I looked it up. Don't bother. It's so fucking expensive. I looked it up. Don't bother. It's my entire year's salary. I'm not doing it. Because it was one of those like, come with me. Well, I'm going to spend a month learning German or whatever it was. And it was like full room and board, all of your food's paid for. You have like classes all day, just doing that language, sort of a thing. And I was like, I love the idea of that though, of just being like, I'm going to just like crash course this, I'm just like go really ham on it for a condensed period of time. And so I was really curious about it. And I started looking to see if there's anything like that in the United Kingdom. And there really isn't for the most part. Understandably, it's like, because I was like, I would love to do that with like Italian. And understandably, the only places to really do that is in Italy. Middlebury College has you sign a language pledge to not speak outside of your target language. And it runs $50,000 a year, bro. Oh my God, I can't imagine. Can you imagine spending that much money and then finding out the technique is just not for you? Yeah. I think generally immersion-based stuff works for nearly everybody, but I don't know. I am not a polyglot, so I have no idea. Yeah, so like I've had friends in the Peace Corps, right? Some of you might remember when I went to Ukraine for a while. That was to visit a friend of mine who was in the Peace Corps. And and they basically had to like live, breathe Ukrainian. But because in Ukraine, depending on where you are in Ukraine, they either speak purely Russian, a mixture of Ukrainian and Russian, or just Ukrainian. Depending on where you were going to be stationed, you then might need a follow-up where you also crash course Russian. So it was really interesting, like being with her and seeing where she was living, because she was in an area where it was exclusively Ukrainian, and then meeting other people that were in the program with her, and they had become completely fluent in Russian, but didn't really know any Ukrainian anymore. I was like, this is so fascinating. My wife did a semester in Italy for college. It was basically what you want. It was hella expensive, but she was able to get scholarships for it. Oh, interesting. I had to learn a few things in Ukrainian while I was there. And it really did, again, I was only there for like a few weeks, but like just being in a little town where no one knew English, I learned a lot while I was there, right? And I haven't had reason to use it in years, so I don't remember most of it. But that experience made me go, yo, immersion is crazy. Like your brain truly is like, we gotta survive out here, dude. We need to learn some shit like immediately. Yeah. Brains are amazing. I can converse with someone speaking Ukrainian while I'm speaking Russian. They sound very similar, but it's like something isn't quite right. I might not know all of the words, but the gist of what they're saying more or less comes through. Yeah. I'm really jazzed about this kebab now. I'm curious where that's at. I'm going to use that as my signal to wrap up. When the kebab gets here, I'll be like, and now it's kebab time. Goodbye. And then I'll do this and I'll fade away. I need that. I need a toggle for that with the mushroom. I need a toggle that makes me just just vanish. How far away is the kebab shop that it's taking this long? I mean, we live in the middle of nowhere. This is one of those like yeah, we're willing to deliver for like an extra fee because it's far away. It's one of those. The kebab is going through the Bronze Wars, maybe. Are you implying that the kebab already showed up? Kebab at this time of night? That's not weird for us. Sam is exclusively a night streamer, so he's ordering shit at weird times of night all the time. This is peak kebab time. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's one of those rare situations where like a delivery driver shows up and they're more concerned about what's going on at this weird dark farm in the middle of the night. You know, like you go out there to meet them and get the food and they're the one who's like, am I going to need to pepper spray somebody? You know?
wonder what drivers think of Sam, a giant that only orders food at night.
There's a clip that did gangbusters not that long ago that there's a delivery driver that delivered to our house, I guess, our old house, quite a few times, and recognized Sam but had never seen me before. And I went out to collect food from this guy, and he was like, "Oh, are you like his little sister?" or something like that. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but the vibes were perfect. Nope. No, I sure am not. But thank you very much for the food. Yeah, it's a clip that starts off with me sitting down and being like, I think I just got mistaken for a child for the first time in years. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I remember Chad at the time being like, "Oh man, this poor guy." According to the documentary movie Hot Fuzz. I haven't watched Hot Fuzz in forever. I want to watch that movie. Oh, you know what? I promised that I was going to show off the blanket during Geekenders, and I didn't wind up doing it. It was just like on my chair at the time. But if you guys would like to see the blanket, it's pretty tight. Yeah. It's so good. Ready? So, scooch, honey. Scooch, honey. It's so cool. Ah. It's my entire body length, basically. But it's very nice. And then on the other side, take a step back. This is as far back as I can go. It's very cool. No! There we go. Yeah, it's a very nice blanket. I was very happy with it. It was an impulse buy. I opened up Cult of the Lamb, and in the corner, the marketing worked, dude. In the corner, it was like, "Did you know we have new items on pre-order?" And I was like, "Shut the fuck up." And it was the record, and I love the Cult of the Lamb music. I was playing it at the start of stream. It was the record, and then the blanket. I was like, I'm buying those. Did you see the Another Crab's Treasure Aggro Crab beanie? No, I did see that they released their soundtrack for people to listen to, but no, let me look. Ah! It's so good. Oh my God, I love it so much. They also have a blanket. In my opinion, not as good. But I love that beanie. As a beanie guy, I love that beanie. Yeah, blankets. I showed my kid the blanket, and I was really worried she was going to be like, that's mine now. And I was going to have to fist fight my child. Oh, Sam's leaving his office. She did like it. Yeah.
Give me my kipip, please.
It's midnight, I'm realizing. I haven't had coffee this late at night in so long. And now my brain's like, what time is it? What time is it? No idea. It's Sam hours, yeah. We're in the Sam zone now. And now it's Sunday morning, Dooger. Bing bong. Wait, in 1 minute. Hold on. Hold. The sun hasn't even set here. Are you in Merca or somewhere close? Midwest. Nice. You heard it here. Bing bong. Yep. It feels weird watching you at this hour and not Sam. I appreciate it. That's so true. Dude, every bedtime, my kid's like, it's still so bright out. And I'm like, I know, dude. Doesn't that suck? Like, what the fuck is that? Need blackout curtains. Saturdays are Sam's day off, aren't they? Yeah, but he has to take Monday and Tuesday off this week. So I was like, I already fucked up my whole stream thing for this weekend. So I'm probably gonna stream a thing. If you want to stream, go for it. And he was like, I don't know that I'll stream, but Dave's got a thing going on, so I'll probably hang out with Dave, you know. Anyways. Yes. The jumper, the like crew neck sweater that is like the most beloved for me is my dad's old sweater. And you want to know what's hilarious is he didn't even know I had it. And I don't know how this wound up happening, but like I've had that sweater for years and he saw me wearing it and was like alarmed. I was like, that's a vintage sweater. You better take care of that. And I have. I've taken very good care of it, but I love it. I know. I know. I keep being told that I need to change my profile picture on Twitch because it looks like I'm offline when I'm not. So I will be doing that. Okay. Food's here. So I'm going to wrap up. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. Those of you who never get to watch, that this was a good time for. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much to all my friends who raided. Oh my goodness, we had so many raids today. That was very sweet. Let me read everything off. I believe raid leader was claimed for Jesse. I already said that I was planning on raiding Jesse for his birthday, so that worked out perfect. But really quickly, let me read off our activity feed. And then I'll send you guys over to Jessup, and you can say happy boif. Happy boif doip. Here we go. Rhaenys Draugen, thank you for the 21. Vigil Umbra for the 36. Happy 3 years. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much for the support. Duo Nico for the 41. Shaper Mario for the 14. King Elsier, thank you for the raid. Hasmo Bean for the 43. Real Slim Shaylee, thank you for the 75. Insaden for the 95. Kiss Awesome for the 109. Thank you very, very much. Phantom for the 61. Gonis for the 11. Twigbot for the 35. Benji, thank you so much for the raid, buddy. I appreciate it. Pronounceable Boris for the 57. Crockett's Dota for the 60. Happy 5 years. Happy anniversary. Thank you. Thank you. Zoe, thank you for the raid as well. I appreciate it. If anybody stuck around from any of these raids and you haven't been here before, I hope you had a nice time. I hope we see you again. Normally I'm a mushroom. This is a weekend only flesh thing. Chris Otaru, thank you for the 7. Lane Wakura for the 30. Angel's Keeper for the 2. Dojums for the gifted sub. Thank you so much. And Lana for the raid. Thank you. Dion Dauntless, thank you so much for all the gifted subs. If you were gifted a sub today, please take the time to say thank you. Seltherstone, thank you for the 7 months. And Panzer Lagwagon, thank you for the 68. Warning, Jesse is playing loud music. Thank you for the warning on that. Warning, we're going to raid Jesse, but he's playing loud music. So there you go. Raid Jesse Cox. I can't believe I did that. Ignore that. Raid Jesse Cox. Lord. Okay. I put a space in there. What a goofball. Hey, I'll see you guys around. Tomorrow we've got Sunforged. I believe. Yeah, tomorrow we've got Sunforged. That's on Joe Fudge's channel. It's a D&D game with a bunch of us. That's really fun. But my next normal stream will be on Monday. Okay? So I'll see you guys around. Bye-bye.